One more thing. It might help. He loves to gamble.
Speaking of Bernardo being back, your boy was back, which
Yes.
I saw you post a picture. So let's talk about the man, the myth, the legend.
So it was, I mean, it kind of was expected. It was announced probably the week just after the new year, maybe just prior to the new year, that Weng won WPT Poker Player of the Year. Was that what it was through WPT, or was it just Poker Player of the Year?
It might have been GPI. I don't know. He definitely. I mean, he just crushed it.
I mean, whatever. This dude is a robot. I'm telling you right now. Look, he is a robot that came back from the future to just crush the poker world, because this dude has an unbelievable resume for 2023. Just going through all his caches, and I get it. The dude fires a ton of bullets at these events, and he travels a circuit, and he has that luxury. But my God, dude.
But he, the thing is, he won last year the first $1 million event of the year, and the dude, just like a racehorse, wire to wire, he didn't stop.
Dude, seriously. So
he said, I think he just said in his head, we're gonna go for it. You win $1 million, we're gonna go for it this year.
So he's been my unofficial bromance, but hatred since this whole thing started. Because honestly, look, if you play poker enough, and you don't have the results that people like Ben have, you question how the hell do these guys do it? And look, as well as I do, when you live a life like we live, being able to focus on poker and strictly poker is impossible.
It's so hard.
And for the most of the people out there that play poker professionally, it is a huge commitment. You need to know this game inside and out to play with the big dogs, right? To actually go into these high roller events or into these big buy-in events and actually ship, because you're playing against the best of the best. It's not like you're playing a $200 daily and you're playing, you know what I mean? Your competition isn't the same.
I'm just looking at his stats. His wins this year, they're just freaking
So
nonstop.
Going through this, you said it. Bernardo came back last year with the return. He won the opening event for $1 million, right? And then from there,
here's the best part. I'm without giving it from there, but that wasn't his biggest score of the year, which is crazy.
Absolutely wild. So then this dude just goes on an absolute tear, and I know this has been talked about probably to death. But the guy has absolutely crushed. So we would love to get him on too. Ben, if you're listening, look, we're going to tag at the shit out of you on this pod to get you on. We're going to put the picture that I have with you on the headline. Maybe you'll remember me from the series. I'll tell that story in a few minutes. But the dude won the $1 million event, a couple small cashes here or there, but they're not even bad place finishes. The dude, 2 weeks later, he finishes 11th, then a 17th, then a 4th. He just crushing. Then beginning of February, he ships again. Another WSOP circuit event for $227,000. Then you're going on a couple small scores here through the month of March, April, and then boom, end of April, he wins the WPT Showdown Championship for $1.1 million. And it's funny because the dude had that was a live televised event that was pushed back. And then he's playing another tournament before that event goes to the final table, and then he final tables that event before he even plays the other final table out.
The thing about it too is that was a $3,500 event that he won $1.1 million. That wasn't he played one of those super high rollers for $50,000.
No.
I can't stand that. They flex oh, the dude won $1 million. Dude, it was $100,000 buy-in.
Yes.
You won 10 times your buy-ins. Congrats.
And there was 80 people who entered.
Yeah,
this event was
a
major event where you had to go through a field of probably over 1,000. I don't have the numbers, but I'm assuming it would be over 1,000 people. I would think it was a 3,500 event.
Yeah,
easily
had to be.
And then he comes in 4th, a 6th. This dude just absolutely crushed it this year. A couple high rollers in there because he's probably getting smarter. He's you know what? If I can beat these massive fields, then I can probably crush these
points.
these smaller fields with
But then look at July. Look what he does again.
July, 10,000 buy-in, WPT, everyone for one drop, 2.2 mil, first place, lock it up,
ship it.
Going on again, another first place later, 1,100 mystery bounty, weird for 100,000. Oh, pittance. Oh, that's a shame. Just before that, September, 10,000 Poker Go Championship. Oh, third place, 100K. Nah, no big deal. And he's actually, dude, he's just playing cards because, if you look, he's playing a $400 buy-in win. He's just playing.
That's what I'm saying. I know a lot of guys have trouble, when they're playing bigger things online, like they're playing $100 binds, and then they can't play the $5 binds anymore. Like, I can't play $5 binds. Same thing with this. Like, if guys are playing like 10,000 high rollers, 25,000 high rollers, very rarely are you going to see them playing $300, small, $300 man events. But I mean, not only was he playing some of these small events, but literally was final tabling, shipping them, crushing them. I'm looking at a couple just here, like the last second here. He was just playing everything he wanted to play and was taking it kind of seriously because I'm looking at this $400 Wing Classic in October. He came in third for $5,000. So it's not like he's just trying to punt.
Dude, he played a 340 at Parks. It came in second for 5,500. Like, that's what I mean. Like, he's gonna drop that. I don't want to put anything out there, making any assumptions. He's going to drop that at a particular establishment where people take their clothes off on a pole in a night. Like, that's pittance to him with the amount of money he's winning.
So, I mean, he was firing bullets like nonstop. Like, I know he was just firing, but I think the thing about his style is, from what I've seen, he just fires until he builds that big stack, and then he slows it down. He switches gears, but people still think he's crazy because he played a couple big hands early, and now they think when he shoves on the river this time, he don't have it, and then boom, here comes the nuts, and it's time for Ben Weng. I'm probably saying Ben Weng to just smash dreams, and then he just has ultimate control when he has a stack. He just knows how to control it, and that is also hard for. I have trouble with that too. Like, I'll go 100 miles an hour, and I have to slow it down. I'm like, all right, slow it up. You got to stack now.
Yeah, dial it back.
Yeah, and so when I have a little maniac to my left, I need to be like, all right, slow it down. Stop punting stacks.
So it's funny because before any of this came on he was on my radar, but before he kind of came on everyone's radar, he was on. But like right at the series, I'm like, oh, dude, this dude Ben, he's crushing throughout the series, and it was like
you're talking about the World Series.
The World Series, yeah. So it was the third day of the main, and I had just busted. I'm like, like sick to my stomach, and it was fairly early in the day. And
you busted him in the main?
No. I had just busted in the main.
Oh, you just busted in the main.
I was debating on what to do. Because I still had a couple days there.
Oh, I remember this.
And I still had a decent amount of money left that I hadn't dumped into because I had made day 3 of the main. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm gonna late reg of the 777. And dude, the line was like, I mean, if anyone that was there, like getting into most of those tournaments, if you were late regging, you were standing in line for no shorter than an hour. So I'm like, fuck it. So I stood in line for an hour. I was actually playing cash on my phone as I was waiting. And lo and behold, who do I get sit next to on my left but Ben? Right on my left, dude, like right where you are. And I'm like, oh my God. And he's stacked up, right?
Yeah.
So I'm coming in with my, starting stack, and he's on my left.
Peasant Petty's like,
sir, can I sit here, please? Yes. And literally within 5 minutes of being there, I'm like, it was on. He was just controlling the table, opening every time it folded to him. And he's on my left, so I'm like, dude, I gotta really pick and choose what I'm doing here. But then he was giving some back and then taking some away and then giving some back and taking some away. Like, he was definitely up and down, but he was stacked up at that point in the tournament. So I wound up getting to a hand with him twice, and both times, the first time he bluffed me off it and he wound up showing. I'm like, like I had top pair, but I couldn't do it. And then the second time he was like down to it, and we were both pretty much even stacked. And he was just super aggressive, checking into him, and bet. And I had top pair with a 7. I had king 7 off. I was in the big blind. He raised. I came along, was the only person, and obviously I'm like terrified because I'm like, he's gonna bust me and I'm gonna look like a fool. So obviously he got it all in on the river after I checked to him the third time, and I was like, I gotta call you. And he just, tapped the table and just threw his cards in and walked away. And I was like, I can leave Vegas feeling accomplished because I busted out Ben Weng.
And he was top 3 at that point. He was on the run at that point to be,
yes,
that he was going to be possibly the player of the year at that point already.
But the best part of that story was, so I go on the bust out shortly thereafter, maybe like 2 hours, 3 hours later, right? And you're not one that does this, but I tend to follow the event that I play in to see how people made out. And I'm following it over the course of a couple days. And wouldn't you know, This motherfucker wound up going down to the final 2 tables. After I busted him, he probably threw another shell at this event. And I think, well, let's see. What place he come in? All right, here it is. He came in 14th.
Wow, no
he
big
came in
deal.
14th.
Out of like
right?
53,000
Out
people.
of thousands of people in this event. For just over $33,000.
Ah, no big deal.
So like what? My triumph was, cool. I busted him out, and then his triumph was, I wound up shipping 33,000 later.
Later, dude.
Oh, dude.
You got. You got to have. But see, like, here's the next question. I'm gonna, ask him if he ever comes on the show. Can he hold his pace? I mean,
Bro.
like it's. He did it this year. I mean, it's awesome, but playing this many tournaments, firing this many bullets, like at some point, either you get burnt out or you run on a huge downswing and, can he bounce back from that? So it's like now he's king of the hill. I think.
Oh, he is. He's the guy.
I think he has more to prove now than ever before. Like he got there, but now it's like, okay, dude, was this a one-hit wonder for the year? Or are you going to be able to, like, make this last? Because there's been dudes in the past that have, like, gone on sick runs and then they just disappear into, like, oblivion,
Yeah.
And so I think he's going to be around because, again, he's a Northeast guy. He's from Philadelphia area. Like, I keep saying, like, these Northeast players were so aggressive in certain spots and certain things. Like, the realm is just here for us to just take
he's
over.
figured out the formula. Like, I'm just going back. His first cash on Hendon was in 2015, and that was at a Parks event, 15th place for $600. Now this dude's winning 2.2 mil. Like, he definitely paid his dues just going through his resume. Like, he's got consistent cashes through the last 5. Meh.
I mean, he was pretty much
Prior to this year, from 15, I'd say from 19 to 21, he's been fairly consistent with some decent hits here and there. He's got a first place in 21 August at the Seminole Hard Rock for just under 100K. Like I would say he's been consistent for a while. It's just now he's probably so deep, his bankroll's so deep that he can just fire at these bigger buy-in events.
Plus, he's been playing cash in Philly for years. Like, it's not like he just woke up his first thing.
This dude's got it figured out, man.
He's running with it, and I hope the best, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, let's see if we can get him on the show. We'll try to reach out to him. We'll tag him, and hey, if you're listening, man, we'll get you on in person.
Yeah, we want to know your story, Ben.
Zoom.
We want to know like where you came from on your come up. A little bit about your childhood, stuff like that, because I would love to hear how you became who I think is like
this dude's like
literally the best poker player right now.
He's like the god of gamblers right now, bro. Just everything's.
I also want to know his vices. Yes. You know me. I just want to know. I want to know where all that money's actually going.
We're gonna find out.
Ben, hit us up.
All right.